here whenever you're ready.
Are you ready?
Apollo Creed, Rocky IV. The dance and all. James Brown rockin' Vegas, and Fury, the ultimate personality, goes from serious with the black robe to Apollo Creed. James Brown living in America, and he wants U.S. sports fans to feel he's their champ.
Let's get
Statement
started.
made.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Against the Ropes. I am Gio Garcia. I'm alongside Christian Mosqueda, Christian Rodriguez, and this is episode 40. Episode 40. And we do have a special guest here with us today.
Yeah, we have none other than boxing reporter of the Ring TV's Cynthia Conte.
Hey guys.
Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me. Oh, thank you.
And Cynthia, we actually met at, you're also the hostess and the commentator for Tom Loeffler's 360 Promotions, and that's where I first met you.
At Hollywood Fight Night.
And you're one of the coolest persons I met. I know you probably don't remember, but one of the coolest people I met.
Which fight night was it?
I can't remember exactly which one, but it was about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Well, I'm glad you remember me. Thank you for inviting me on. Oh, good. How do you like fight nights? How do you like
they're
fun?
They're fun.
They're fun.
It was one of those nights where I guess Tom converted the after the fights to like a little club, so people were having a good time.
He does that every fight night. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you guys, the next fight night, there's always an after party.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, but good. I'm glad that you remember me. Thank you so much. It's fun talking boxing, and it's cool. I like your little setup here, and I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah.
Your 40th episode, and I feel so honored to be on your 40th episode.
Yeah. Speaking about parties, you were in Vegas, right?
I was in Vegas. I mean, minus the partying. It was. I found out you were in Vegas also, but you were the one partying, I believe.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I was working. I was sick, but I was working, and it was good. It was fun. I got a lot done in the couple days I was able to work. I was physically able to get out of bed and go to work. It was good. Why? What'd you think of the fight?
It was short.
Yeah.
Yeah, very short.
I mean, is that what you expected, or what were your expectations of Fury versus Schwartz?
I thought it was going to go a couple more rounds.
Longer.
And obviously we expected a couple more rounds because, I mean, who doesn't want to see more of Tyson Fury? He is a showman. He is entertainer inside and outside the ring. So I thought it was going to go a couple more rounds, but you saw, and I know it's you pronounce it's his real name.
It's Schwartz. The way he says it is Schwartz.
Schwartz.
Because there's no T.
Yeah.
But everyone just says Schwartz. So
Yeah.
I say both. I don't even know.
So Schwartz.
I'm sure you relate to that, right, with your last name?
Conte. I mean,
I've heard
I get
different variations.
Cunt. I get all of it. Wow. It's really weird in an autocorrect. My name's Cynthia Conte. It will say Cynthia Conte. So if I'm going really fast and it sounds like, oh my God, it says Conte. I'm like, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's why it's really Conte or Conte. But you'll always hear me say Conte because it doesn't even matter at this point.
And that's Italian, or is that?
Yeah, that's Italian.
That's from whose side? Your
mom's.
Your mom's.
It's my mom's. But I choose to take my mom's last name because my other one, it's too long, and my mom really likes that I took her last name.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's good. But yeah, with that Tyson fight, when you said you expected it to go longer, I thought so maybe too because it is his Las Vegas debut, his ESPN debut. But I believe with the heavyweight division of what happened with Brazil and Wilder, and then also Joshua and Ruiz, he needed to make a statement. Yeah. So instead of going rounds, it's like if you can knock him out in a very fashionable way, so do it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else was him singing, the outfit. So it's like, okay, 2 and done. I mean, what was it? Gordon Ramsay was there, and he said third round. People were saying 6, and I'm like, well, he did it in 2. But it was. I mean, it was. I think it was an overmatch. But that's what you do when you're going to showcase someone. And so it was fun. It was a fun fight. It was a fun week from that I got to experience.
Yeah. I mean, and for Fury, he's one of the heavyweights where that people claim he doesn't have he's not a big of a puncher as the other ones, and he doesn't have as many knockouts. So maybe he needed, like you said, to make this statement, get him out, and let them know that he was.
Well, what is Fury's? What's his knockout? I can't remember, but he has a good amount of knockouts, and he did say that he was looking for the knockout. And a lot of people thought he was just gonna stick and move, box, dance around the ring, but he sure knocked him out. I mean, it was pretty good. Did you notice when he switched into southpaw,
Right.
got him up into the corner, and that's when I'm like, it's over. It's over. And we just knew, and the ref was giving him a chance, but we knew it was done.
Yeah, and Schwartz, he actually came to fight.
He did. I mean, I think when you're unknown, even though people don't know Fury also from America, but no one knew who Tom was. But he was, I think, in the top 5, I believe. So, he had to, at least, it could have been kind of like a Ruiz. No one really knew Ruiz. And it's like that underdog story.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew the sports books. Everyone was betting on Schwartz because imagine,
Ruiz effect,
But it was just like Ruiz gave people hope. So it's like Schwartz is like, if he could do it, I could do it. But Tyson just wanted to make a big show of it all, and he did.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Yeah.
What did it say on there? Is
So
knockouts?
Tyson for 20 knockouts out of 28 fights. So he does have.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
not
not a
bad.
bad record. You just don't know him as a knockout artist because you always see
He's a
him
boxer.
a boxer, Muhammad Ali. Like he likes to play, and and he's quick. He's quick for a big guy. So it was, it was good. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with him in this heavyweight division. I'd like to all see them fight, but it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
You know what? They were saying the same thing about Ruiz because he had 22 knockouts and 32 wins or something like that. So they were saying the same thing about Ruiz.
Well, it's also because they say he didn't fight anyone, and his only loss was against Joseph Parker, and
Right.
a lot of people believe that he
majority,
won, and it was a very, very close fight, but people never really knew who else he fought. They're just like, okay, well, but he sure proved everyone wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, he proved a lot of people wrong. They're like, oh man, the guy that was fat shamed, the guy that no one ever thought, except the people who knew how fast he was. Yeah.
What was their reaction to that fight when it first happened?
I knew he could give him a good fight. I didn't expect him to drop him 4 times.
Yeah.
I knew if he was able to get on the inside, he'll be able to scrap with him. And I really like what Manny Robles said. He's like, in getting on the inside, what you're going to have to do is get under his jab and then jab upwards. Instead of jabbing down, straight to the body, jab up and jab straight. So it was interesting, and I was just like, I cried. I literally cried because, even when you watch the press conferences, it's like everyone was booing him and saying, you fat fuck, you this. And I'm like, come on.
Right.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And it's like, but remember that movie Up? And everyone started doing the memes. I go, he looks like that kid from Up, smiling Russell. And when someone did a meme, I'm like, oh my God. And he was just so happy and just, I go, it was a dream come true for him to even grace the stage. It was a dream come true for him to even hold Anthony's belts during the weigh-ins, which, a lot of people were like, why would Joshua do that? But, people are very, what's that called, superstitious. I am, but, that's just Joshua. But it just in the ring, it was, I could not believe it. I was jumping up and down, and usually I don't like to say who I want to win, but I'm like, our fucking guy just won. Like, he beat Adonis. He beat the champion.
Yeah.
So it was good. But I was so happy for him. And, I immediately was tweeting. I'm like, Snickers. I remember he even said, I'm powered by Snickers. Yeah. So I was always tweeting that. And then there was that fake advertisement that came out and when they said, I'm sorry, it's unfortunately not ours, blah, 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 I responded, boo.
Boo.
Then I tweeted, I think later on that day, I'm like, hey, Wheaties, I think you have, I'm like, I think you should really seriously take a look at this guy. He's a real sports hero. And they tweeted back at me. They're like, thanks, we'll pass it to the team. And I'm like, I never thought like you would even bother to respond. Like usually you just kind of let things go. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it was good. I mean, it was the heavyweight division is just, it's back, it's here to stay, and we just need them to keep fighting.
Yeah. Not to get too political, but and I know this hasn't really covered mainstream, but there was some controversy in that Andy Ruiz Jr. went to visit the Mexican president as opposed to the United States president. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, for me, I mean, I don't think of it as it's political. I go, you know, he's Mexican American. His parents were born in Mexico. And shoot, if the country embraces him, I mean, U.S. embraced him, but it's kind of like a lot of the basketball or the football teams. They don't want to go see our president, and especially what our president stands for his people. It's almost like it's like a slap in the face. You're hypocritical. So, but I think, especially knowing that he's the first Mexican. Heavyweight, I think it's great. And I mean, when I saw those little kids just running up to his car, sign my glove, and just, you know, it's like, that's the kind of hero you want. And what he's gone through, it speaks volumes.
Yeah, we actually saw the fight with Anthony Sims Jr. Shout out, Anthony. And we just went crazy when we saw like that. It was just.
Yeah, I left my house.
We went. Yeah, it was just amazing because obviously, like you said, we saw his resume. We knew he was good, but we just didn't. We didn't have him in the top. You know, I guess you can say 5.
Yeah.
We had him more up there, 9 through 12th, and so we just thought it was gonna be Joshua using his distance, using his height, and we seen how that size difference.
Yeah.
You know, based on Spence and Mikey, you know how that size difference can play out. But
height really. You know, the first with height. Mikey Garcia and Robert Easter. So the height, everyone's talking about that, but it was the same weight class. And I remember I asked Mike, I go, do you think the size difference is going to matter in Errol Spence? He said, you know, it's all about skill. And obviously we saw it. It was totally different. It was just too big, it was too fast, too big, too everything. But with Andy, it was pure determination. And when they said, he goes, I knew I couldn't fail. I mean, and Mikey walked him out. And I remember Mike Basil, the strength conditioning coach at Snack, he said when he was visiting, when he's training up at Snack still, he walked him out. He was like, what's the advice you gave Andy? He's like, I just told him, go out there. Like, what the fuck do you have to lose? Like, just get in there and just brawl. And I'm like, that's what you have to do. He came out of the gate like a bulldog. Like a bull. And I'm like, you don't sit there and try to find your reach. You already know you're shorter than him. Like, you don't sit there. That's supposed to be what Joshua's supposed to be doing, trying to find his reach to see where he can keep Andy at bay. But caught him. He got dropped for the first time. But it was such a good fight. Oh, gives me the chills.
The heavyweight fights 5 years back now, like they're just Joshua, Klitschko, Ortiz, Wilder. They've just been. I mean, now Fury, Wilder. They've just been memorable.
They have been. They have been, and you know what? Because heavyweights can punch, and so that one punch can knock you out. And to see like Fury come back from the dead from Wilder, that's like. That's like a historical moment in heavyweight. And I just remember Deontay's face is like, are you fucking kidding me? He came back up from my equalizer. So, and I remember Fury even said, he's like, I beat him once. I can fight him again, and I'll beat him again and again and again.
How did you score that fight? Wilder. Fury.
I had Fury winning. I had Fury winning. Yeah. So, but it was. I think it was. I thought Fury won. It was close. If it wasn't for that knockdown, I mean, it would have been easily. But I'd like to see the rematch. I'd really like to see it. And did Wilder has Fury gotten into Wilder's head? You know, like after seeing that, it's like, if he could take that, what else can I do? And that's I remember Ben Davison said, Tyson Fury's trainer, he said, people don't realize how actually skilled Wilder is. Like, he's very good in the ring. His ring IQ, his ring generalship, his boxing. It may be very unorthodox, but there is a rhythm, and there's something about it that people don't realize. And as a trainer, he sees it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he's like, Fury's better.
Yeah.
But Wilder's very, very good.
With me, it's the fact that he didn't get. I mean, he was frustrated, but not to the point. Wilder, to the point where he gave up, because we've seen boxers outbox fighters in the past, and you see Sugar Ray Leonard with Roberto Duran, and you just frustrate the shit out of them. But Wilder just kept that determination, and that punch came.
Yeah.
Dropped him. He got up. Fury did, but just that determination that Wilder showed, and not letting that frustration seep in. And
well, you did see the frustration because when you look at it, everyone was like, Wilder is looking for that one big punch, because if you don't know how to box, and I'm not saying Wilder doesn't, he does. It's just a different style.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on that one punch because you'll always be outboxed by a boxer.
I just think that these three heavyweights have something really interesting. Like in the case of Wilder, he's at 212, but he's probably the hardest hitting heavyweight puncher out of all three of them.
Yeah.
And then you have Anthony Joshua coming in at 245 physique. You can't compare the body frame between him and Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
And then Tyson Fury is 268, but he's probably the quickest one of them all, of them three. But the thing is, from all those three, is that we all seen them come through adversity, right? Between Joshua against Klitschko, between Wilder against Ortiz in the 7th round, and then you have Tyson Fury against Wilder, right, in the 12th round. So I think that's something that we like to see in the heavyweight division. Not just that they have the punch, but they overcome something like that significance, right?
Yeah.
In Wembley at Staples Center.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, that's what makes a good story, and that makes a great story. So even for the Joshua or the Ruiz Joshua rematch, when people say, where should it be? Everyone says it needs to go to UK. I'm like, why? Joshua is trying to make a name here. He went to the mecca of boxing, and people, I remember Marcos said, Marcus from Fight Hub, he's like, it's not the mecca of boxing. And I'm like, I kind of agree, because there haven't been a lot of fights. But when it comes to the heavyweights, like the big names, then I can, in regards to MSG, yes.
MSG,
like, if you want to make a name for yourself, you go to New York, and then you make your way to Las Vegas, to make the money. But to make the name, MSG, to make your money, you go to New York. I mean, you go to Vegas. But I think it needs to come back to MSG, because if I were Anthony, you're already huge. I know that you can fill 100,000 people and then add another 50,000 seats if you really wanted to. But you're always going to have that on your record, like, damn, I made my debut at MSG and I lost in a, he got his ass kicked. I would do it back here, even though it doesn't fill 100,000 people. The Brits will fly. They did. They do all the time. You saw Vegas. The Brits are always there. They're always going to support their guy, and they have a good time about it. And I think that would be remarkable. I mean, I would even say, no, not here, because we don't have a stadium that big. We don't. Yeah, and LA's not that big on boxing in that sense. But
you could always do Texas. But I mean, what did you say? Joshua wanted to go back there and.
Yeah, I guess Eddie Hearn was talking about, because the Zone is with John Skipper in New York, and then Sky Sports in Wembley, and it's interesting because Anthony Joshua has those two entities, and who's the one that wants to control them, right? More than likely it's going to be the Zone, because they're going to have more money. But at the Zone, they're located in New York, so more than likely they want to see him come back. But also Sky Sports wants to see him come back over there. But at the same time, Joshua was talking about.
At the end of the day, it's on Joshua.
It's on Joshua.
It's on Joshua.
And that's what I'm trying to get at. He's talking about trying to release his demon in New York.
He has to. It's like you wanna right your wrong here, and if he were to fail again, at least be like, you know what, I did it. I didn't. It's not like you go to your crutch where it's like, oh, I go home, and then what if it went to the judges? Did you see the scorecards?
Yeah, they were.
Did you see the scorecards? Yeah. If Ruiz did not do what he did, I'm like, damn. Damn. I was like, oh my gosh. But so it's such a hot topic. But right now, but that's what we're all waiting for. What will happen? I hope it happens soon.
Yeah. Who do you favor in that rematch?
Ruiz. I mean, I like him. I really like him, and I think in the second rematch, or excuse me, in the rematch, Ruiz is just going to have even that much more confidence, and he can even get he's so fast that he kind of already saw Joshua's movement. How I don't even know what happened with Joshua that night.
Yeah.
I remember watching him walk into the ring. I'm like, what's wrong with him? Like he
Something was
wasn't.
off.
His
Yeah.
eyes were not like he wasn't focused.
There's a lot of videos too.
But is it true? I don't know if it's true that he got knocked out. The guy that Gassiev is going to be fighting.
Yeah, sparring.
I don't know if it's true. No one has come out.
Yeah.
Have you seen
has
the video
said-
of Joshua's dad confronting?
Oh
Eddie Hearn?
yeah, but then I mean I don't
That was
know.
interesting.
It is, but then of course I don't. It was weird. No one talked about it during Fury. No one would say yes or no. It's true or not. I'm like, this is very weird. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, fine. Well, I'm not going to talk about it because we're here for a different fight, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. I mean, you know. But it would be a good fight. I think it's just, it's always good to see Ruiz.
And what do you have favoring in between Wilder and Fury in the rematch?
Wilder and Fury, I think.
Draw.
Yeah. Running back trilogy.
No, I mean, God, I think honestly Fury, because he's so fast. And remember, Fury was 3 years out of the ring,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he did that.
Yeah.
Right.
He's in tip-top shape,
No.
and if he was able to do that, imagine how he is now in tip-top shape. How much more faster he is, how much more skilled he is. He even said during the post presser, someone said, "What? All of a sudden, you're southpaw?" He's like, "I'm actually ambidextrous. No one knows that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, another fun fact about you." But he's that good,
Yeah.
and he's like, "There's so much more to me that you guys don't know that I can't wait for you to see."
How would you rate his Las Vegas debut?
In terms of what that
Overall, everything.
overall,
Whatever comes to mind.
I think from a 1 out of 1 to 10, I think it was like maybe an 8, because, it would have been much more, it would have been cool to see a longer fight, but he did it in such a, you know what, I'll give him a 9.5. He had a great walkout.
Right.
Yeah.
When I saw that black robe, I'm like, what does he have under there? I'm like, is he gonna? I'm like, because he wears those little oddball underwears.
He does.
And I remember I asked him, I'm like, those are some interesting panties you wear during your workouts. And there's a reason, because it's for testicular cancer. He has it's to raise awareness, because he has, I believe, a friend. So they're called oddballs. So I thought maybe he's, oh God, please don't wear it, like, But then when he came out, and then I'm like, oh my God, Apollo Creed, and then the music. So that was fun to see. He made it the show, and then the song after, and then even at the post-fight presser, he had Bob Arum singing. I mean, Bob Arum looked like he was doing full-on karaoke back there. It was fun. So I'll say a 9.5. I think there was something still lacking. I don't know what it was.
You know what? I was going to say the same thing, 8, but I don't think it was his fault. I think it was more because of his opponent.
That's probably it.
Because
That's probably it.
I got the sense that a lot of people were disappointed after the fight, because even before the fight, it was pretty interesting or fun, whatever you want to call it. Tom Schwartz came out with the Snickers and everything.
Yeah.
They were fooling around in the press conferences. So I think that his opponent was probably a bit disappointing.
Yeah, I for me, it was more electrifying at Staples Center during fight night, Wilder Fury, because of the fight itself, and I was like, oh my God, for LA, I was like, holy shoot, I can't believe I just experienced what I just experienced. Like I saw this man come up, and I thought, oh God, this is, I'm like, Fury won this, but I could see this a draw, but. And I was like, oh man, I knew it was just so strange. It was so crazy to me, but.
Yeah, right now I'm compiling I have a lot of footage of that fight. So the 9th round and 12th round, I'm trying to compile like a nice video of it, but my phone was just moving a lot because a lot of people were just pushing because they just couldn't believe what just happened with Wilder, but it was funny because you could see Wilder dancing around, just looking around,
Yep.
you know, just going like that, and then you could see his stare like that. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, and he's just like,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's, you know, when I asked Jack Reese about that, I go, that could have haunted you for the rest of your
Yeah.
career. And he's one of my top 3 favorite referees. And I go, what did you see? He's like, you know, a good ref will see it. You'll see it in their eyes. Like, you, even though their eyes are open, they're completely glazed or gone. And, you know, a good ref will save them from themselves. Because the fighter will always want to continue to fight. Like even Joshua, when he waved off the fight, people kept saying, well, he said he wanted to continue. But when you really look at it, he went back and put his arms up. If you were ready to fight, you'd be like, no, ref, let's go. You know, like your aunt. And even that ref, he just like kept looking at him. And he's like, no, it's over. Like, it's done. You got your ass kicked.
Yeah, I saw Jack Reese the week after because he was doing HBO.
Yeah.
And I told him, I don't give a fuck what people are saying, but mad respect for holding your own ground because he was taking a lot of shit.
He really was. But, you know, Jack is just, he's one of the best refs out there. And I mean, it's so funny. And shout out, he is also my sister's realtor. He does real estate. I remember my sister was
No
like, Jack Reese he sold my house. I'm like, they're a ref? And then I was like, this is so strange. Yeah. So if you guys need a realtor, there you go, Jack Reese.
Jack Reese. Who are the other 2 favorite refs?
Steve Willis.
Of course.
You
Oh,
can't,
of
like,
course.
when I saw Steve Willis in the ring, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a fun fight. You know,
Yeah.
the memes. And who else is there? I think it's...
Mine's Lou Moret. That's my
Oh,
top
Lou
3.
Moret.
Oh,
Jack
okay.
Reese,
I could see, yeah.
Steve Willis and Lou.
Not Kenny Bayless?
Those are
Kenny Bayless was like...
Cortez.
No, stop.
No, actually, you know what? What's his name? Oh God, his son. Oh my God, his son fights at Hollywood Fight Nights. Corona, Adrian. Corona, Adrian Corona's son. I mean, father. He lets. Oh wow. Oh God, hold on. Now it's gonna bother me. He lets them fight it out. He does not break up a fight, and.
He must do fights at Mayweather's camp.
I could tell by his last name.
No,
He lets
he's
them
actually
fight.
a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer ref. What is his dad's name? Now it's bothering me. It will come to me. Watch, I'll just like scream it out there.
It's crazy that you just bring up Lou because I just saw Lou this weekend.
Yeah.
He's judging now.
Oh, he's
yeah?
doing the local fights.
Yeah.
too.
Local fights
He's been
now.
doing that.
And with Steve Willis, you guys know.
He
about
criticizes
Steve
me
Willis.
when I was telling him, oh, it's a 10-8. He's like, let me tell you why you're wrong. Like
Let me tell you.
yeah, just like Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
You're wrong. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
See, now it's gonna bother me. It's like Ray Corona. That is
Ray
his
Corona.
name. Yeah, he is. He's very well known, and he's the type. He will. You know how a lot of refs will. What was that one fight? The undercard during Barrera and Hart. Naya. What's his name? Pat Nadia. He was a tall ref. He kept warning, and I haven't seen the footage on TV, but based on the fight, I'm like, why does he keep talking to Hart or I can't remember which one, but he kept saying, "Stop it! I'm going to take a point off." And and I saw in my Twitter feed, why does he keep telling him? It's like they're fighting, and he kept breaking up the fight, kept breaking it up.
wow.
And Ray Corona will allow you. He'll let you scrap it out, and he'll like fight it out. I'm like, that's what I love.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point. Let them fight it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are my 3 favorites.
What's
Steve-
your where women's boxing is going right now?
What about it?
Where's your opinion about that? The past
I
few
like
years?
it. You know, I really like it. So I was invited by WBC, WBC to the women's convention in the Philippines last what month? Yeah, last year. And I got to actually really sit with the females in boxing. And, you know, the one main concern is obviously the pay. And I get it. Like, what you go through, you train exactly like a man.
Yeah.
You're in the gym. The only difference is that some of them have kids. And they have to have a full-time job because we don't get paid. The women do not get paid. But you get hit in the head just like everyone else.
Yep.
You go through the same issues. The only difference is it's only 10 rounders and there's only 2-minute rounds. A lot of females have had issues. They've complained, and I get it. People are like, oh, if there's only 1 more minute. But there is a study that WBC does, and they invite people because a lot of people and press, They still don't understand that women and men are obviously built different. And the more we get hit in the head, females, our blood tends to swell faster and it lasts longer. So we're just built differently. And a lot of they just don't understand that. And so women can die faster from it because the symptoms aren't there. You won't be able to see it unless you go and get brain scans, which are so expensive. Yeah. And it's kind of like people can't afford for these testings, like VADA. So that's why they make it mandatory. If they say all the fighters need to get tested, it's kind of expensive. And fighters don't get paid that much. So it's essentially the same thing. It's too expensive to get a brain scan. Yeah. So, but that's why they won't allow they won't push it. They can't because it's scientifically proven. It's at UCLA. It's a UCLA study, and people are invited to go and look into it, and they'll show you. And but women are they're so upset that they see where it's going. They want more. You know, they spar men. Yeah. Katie Taylor, Aaron McKenna, I just interviewed him yesterday, that top prospect. He sparred Katie Taylor. I'm like, how hard does she hit? She's like, she hits fucking hard. But it's like, that's what they do. Clarissa, Cecilia Brake, because they all spar men. Right. So, but I think it's on the rise. I think, you know, for that fight against Pursoon that just happened, Delphine Pursoon, that was an incredible fight. Yeah. I saw that. I believe Pursoon won that fight. We do too. But, you know, a lot of people saw it a draw. I mean, I give it a draw at least. Yeah, give it a draw at least. And it was nice that Katie automatically said, "I want a rematch." Right. Because if you, I'm not saying she thought this, but usually if you know you won outright, you don't ask for a rematch. But I felt so terrible for Pursoon. Oh, yeah. She was off crying, and I just, you know, and there was a lot of the girls that were DMing me, a lot of the female boxers, and I'm like, what did you think of the fight? They were like, Delphine, she was relentless, even though Katie fought Pursoon's fight. Yeah. And so it happened, and that's what you got to do. So true. Your belts are on the line. Undisputed title is on the line, so you're going to fight like a crazy man or a crazy woman. And I'd like to see that fight, though, again. Yeah. It needs to happen again. Yeah. That would be fun to see them both on the same card. Co-main and main. Yeah. Yeah, I was telling the guys if Andrew Ruiz didn't do that upset, that would have been like the fight of the night. Yeah. Yeah. The fight of the night. The fact that Andy did that shock, got that shock win, just took some light away from that great performance by Pursoon. And same here, we had it that way. Yeah. At worst, it would have been a draw, but we felt that Pursoon just outworked in a way. Oh yeah, she outworked, and a lot of the girls were just saying she had cleaner, even though it didn't look it. She's like, but she had cleaner shots. They were just. It was just. I think Katie wasn't ready. She didn't know that kind of style of fighting, and Pursoon just fucking went balls out. Like there was no rhyme or reason to her rhythm, but she just is like, well, you know what, just go. Yeah. But it's also one of those things like when you saw Deontay Wilder and Fury, that Fury took the whole crowd out of that whole stadium. Right, because it was basically Wilder's camp, right? And then Katie Taylor, she brought a lot of people from the other side of the sea, right? And they were all chanting his name, but it was really quiet towards the end of the stadium fight. And that's what I even said, that I'm like, God, it's quiet. Usually the UK are just, right? And they were quiet, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. You could feel it. Yeah. You could feel it through the television. Yeah, but. Overall, I mean, that night, Chris Algieri, he fought Tommy Coyle. That was a good fight. It was a very good fight. He stopped him. It was shit. And then his eyes. Who was it? Smith. John. Wait, what was his name? Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly. Who did he fight again?
Ray Robinson.
Yeah, Ray Robinson.
Oh yeah, the other Ray Robinson.
I'm sure it was Ray Robinson.
Yeah, the other Ray Robinson. I know. But Josh Kelly, I mean, I think he just got married, or he was. I remember in his interview, he's like, "I don't have anything prepared. I'm getting married next week. I have nothing." I'm like, "Oh, you got a fight to worry about. Don't worry." Wow. But he has. I like him. I've seen a lot of his fights on DAZN, like when they do the UK feed, but. He's good. I think he needs more work, but I like him. I like him a lot. He just, I I know he likes to showboat.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
I think
Really
that's probably
likes
why
to
he lost the
showboat.
His
fight.
hands low, yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, when I hate it when fighters do that. I'm like, keep your motherfucking hands up, because you showboating, you're gonna get knocked out.
Yeah.
You're gonna get knocked out.
Yeah.
And he kind of got outworked at the end,
Yeah.
right? He started off, pretty well,
Yeah.
picking his shots, outlanding Robinson, and towards the end, you see him lose that little bit of that shine.
Yeah.
So I agree. He needs to be polished a little bit more. Like you said, don't
Yeah.
showboat as much. Just do the work.
Yeah,
and close
Adam
it out.
Booth is his trainer, so he has that style, like that David Hayes style, and they all have that style. It's like it's good, but it's you're still young. Like you gotta just get your craft down, and when you've done a real damn good job in the fight, and you clearly outworked him and outclassed him, then you could go showboat. I mean, even though I still don't like that, but
Gio over here is not big on Brits. He
Why
he
not?
does love Tyson Fury, though.
Yeah,
Why
I like
not?
Tyson Fury.
Why not the Brits? I like the Brits.
They
I
always
like.
disappoint.
Why?
They always disappoint. I don't know.
What do you
ask
mean?
them. I don't
No,
know.
what do you mean? What do you mean? Them as a fighter, like their styles?
Not really. They just don't get too many great wins here in the United States.
Well,
Who can you think of that came over here and did it big?
let's see. There's Lennox Lewis.
He's Canadian, but yeah.
No, but he was born in
Yeah.
UK.
He was. I think he was, right?
Yeah, he
London?
was born in
Yeah.
UK,
Right.
and so he says he's both. Who else is there?
Think about it.
Well, but boxing is born in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
it's
So is football, soccer.
yeah.
Look, we're there.
The fans are. I think Gio
Yeah.
loves the fans out there. They're
The fans
their
are
energy
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, whether
Yeah.
their fighter is losing or
Yeah,
I remember during the Scott Quigg fight. Oh my God! Here at War Grounds,
Yeah.
it was a monsoon outside, and I had my raincoat on. Everyone's like either in the booth, and people, I mean, huddled. I mean, the rain was flying every which way. Scott Quigg and Valdez were going to war, and I remember seeing these Brit guys completely wasted. It's freezing, and they're just
Yeah.
in like shorts, flip flops, drinking their beer, singing,
Yeah.
their songs. I'm like, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I'm like
Yes.
standing there. Everyone else is like under their umbrella, and I'm just I mean, I had my raincoat and like my rain boots on, so I didn't care. But I
Yeah.
go, this is what a fight is all about.
There was a couple of fights at the Fury Wilder where I was sitting at.
Yeah.
Even when I was recording the USA national anthem, there were some fights in the upper levels. You could tell. Yeah.
Yikes. Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, the fans are
Good times.
cool, but their fighters, I feel like they don't live up to that, though.
No, I mean, maybe you just haven't.
Look at Anthony Joshua, latest example.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Our
I'm
viewers are
just
going to go
saying.
down.
I know. I
Yeah.
love British people too, man. Not the
You're like
fighter,
your
not the
UK fans are gonna be
boxing.
like delete. No, I mean, I
I'm a
guess
Liverpool fan, all right?
I
Keep
guess
in mind.
maybe you just haven't found the right fighter that you like. I mean, there's some good. I mean, I'm learning a lot about fighters. You don't like Callum Smith?
Mm.
So if him and Canelo fought, if Canelo moved up to 168 too, because he has a regular and Callum has the super.
Yeah.
Who do you think would fare in that fight? Who do you think would win that fight? Did you see Callum's last performance?
Yeah, I wasn't impressed.
Really?
Yeah, we talked about it. He fought a
Okay.
middleweight. A 36-year-old middleweight, I think.
Yeah.
Something like
Hassan
that.
averages
Hassan
averages like 4
Nadam.
knockdowns per fight.
Well, it's kind of like when you say Canelo fought Rocky Fielding when he moved up.
What about it?
What do you think of that?
I don't
So-
think anything about it.
You don't think anything? Did you think why did Canelo take? I mean, we all know why Canelo took that fight, so he can become another division champion. But do you think that does that matter? Like, do you consider Canelo a 2-division world champion in that sense?
Not a 168. Not
Okay.
really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Title
But he
holder,
was
right?
testing the waters.
Okay.
Callum Smith doesn't have to test the waters again. And
Okay.
Dom.
And okay, what do you think about Katie Taylor?
What did I think about her?
Do you like her as a fighter? What do you think? Are you impressed by
She's
her?
cool, but she lost.
Okay, but in general, okay, Pursoon, you saw her. She's a UK fighter also.
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't she from Belgium or?
That's you.
Belgium.
No, she's
Oh.
from Belgium. Yeah.
Oh,
Belgium,
okay.
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember waffles.
Okay. Well, from that side, the other side
I
of
like
the pond,
I like
Eastern
Josh
Europeans.
Warrington.
Eastern European.
I like Josh.
I like
Warrington.
Josh Warrington.
Warrington.
I like
Yeah.
Warrington.
Didn't he had a close fight?
Yeah, with
I thought
Kid Galahad.
Kid Galahad almost beat
What
him.
did you guys think of that fight? I want to ask you.
I saw just the highlights of that one, but I saw that Kid Galahad, put his name out there. He deserves to be up there with
Yeah.
and in the top names.
What did you see it?
I think I was in Cancun that weekend, so no.
He's always there. He's always somewhere.
No,
I don't
that
think I
was
watched it.
no, that was in Vegas. It was during Vegas.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas, getting ready
that was-
for fight night. It was it
Yeah,
was
it was-
earlier in the day.
Yeah, the Saturday.
You were probably at
Oh,
a pool
Saturday?
party.
I was.
You were at a pool party. No,
Meanwhile.
it was actually
it
because I was going back and forth from that fight and then on DAZN and then ESPN.
Mhm.
Yeah, from what I didn't get to see all of it, but I remember hearing a lot of it because I
That's what I
was
was-
putting my makeup. But based on what I heard,
That was so random.
Kid Galahad did win based from what I heard,
Yeah.
but I didn't see it. But it was, I'm like, maybe it's a draw. I think
Yeah.
it was good enough to be a draw, but it was also in Leeds, Warrington's hometown.
Yeah.
So,
That's even worse.
and it's harder because they both had belts. That's why I'm like, you should have just given it a draw.
Yeah.
I go put it in, don't put it in anyone's hometown, put it somewhere neutral,
Mm-hmm.
and then fight it out. But I was like, I was a little gutted, but I like them both. I like Warrington, but he looked frustrated because Galahad was. I mean, he was good, and he was fighting southpaw. He was switching it up so much. Warrington was so confused. He couldn't keep up with him.
Oh wow! Because the last fight that we saw Warrington was with Carl Frampton, correct?
Yeah.
And we just saw Warrington. That's the first time we got showcased to who he was, and I thought he was amazing. He just was volume punching. He's just outworking Carl
Yeah.
Frampton, who we thought he was up there with Leo,
Yeah.
based on skills for that division. And so I was like, oh, who's this guy? He's pretty good, man. Like, yeah. So
Oh, that's so good.
Have you been to any fights in the UK?
No, not yet.
No?
Not yet.
Ooh.
I will be.
Ooh.
I will eventually go. Yeah.
what's that dream UK fight for you?
Has to be a Joshua, right?
It doesn't have to necessarily be a Joshua, but I'd love to just experience O2. O2, Wembley, just, I think just to sit there and be like, wow, so this is what
Yeah.
it's like to
Yeah.
have that many people chanting your name and then one little ring in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And
I do feel sad for English people right now because people from England, they had their Dylan White, their Tyson Fury, their Anthony Joshua. Now they're coming over here to make their names. So you don't see those names over there fighting there over there. Now USA are bringing them over here because this is where the money is at.
Yeah.
The coach is over there, but the money is at over here.
right? Honestly, they have great coaches. I mean,
Yeah.
it's weird because I always said, I go, to make it big, like if you're already big in your country, you have a world title belt.
Yeah.
You have to fight around the world because there's competitors that are from a different
Yeah.
country. So I get the tickets, even like pay-per-view, Sky pay-per-view,
Yeah.
Sports.
they're like $20.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're paying how much? 90?
Right?
Like,
That's why.
I mean, I
They
get
do a good job.
DAZN and ESPN. I get it. But I'm just like, it's hard. I mean, thank God I'm working the fight, you know? But I was like, and I'm able to wait a week later, but it's like, you're trying to find that bootleg on the on YouTube. Like, where's the Russian channel?
Yeah.
But it's expensive. And even when the Tyson Fury, they're just like, why do we have to pay $20 for a guy to fight a bum? Like, or 20 pounds over
Yeah.
there. So I don't know, but I don't know. DAZN is cool. I like it. I'm glad that they're able to. I know people still bitch. It's $20 a month or $89 or $90 a year, but
Yeah.
they have a lot of content on there. It's a lot. And ESPN, $5 for all of ESPN classics.
Yeah.
Why not?
You were at the Amir Khan fight, correct? With Crawford.
I was not.
Did you watch the fight?
I
you
did
pay?
watch
Even
it.
she
Okay.
skipped it.
Yeah.
I
'cause
did watch. Yeah.
We thought it was overpriced, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
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 So,
He's.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all you gotta say.
That's it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many Brits came over. I have no idea. I don't know what the capacity was. I didn't get to see the email on that, but you just want to see, can he outbox Crawford,
Yeah.
or does Khan still have the speed?
I just think Amir Khan's a sad story.
I mean, he's fighting again in
Yeah, and
Saudi.
Saudi
Saudi
Arabia.
Arabia.
Yeah,
Saudi
yeah.
Arabia.
Yeah, he actually let go of Virgil Hunter again.
He did?
Yeah, again.
Who's training him now?
Some guy in England. I forgot who.
Oh, okay. So let me guess. Because after the loss of him getting hit in the fucking balls, remember,
Yeah.
he's a low blow. I remember I asked Freddie Roach that. I go, what happened? And he was
Yeah.
like, he got hit in the dick, basically. I'm like, well, no, it looked like, unless he has a really big ball sack. It was on the inner thigh, but I don't know. I don't know.
I don't have one, so I don't know.
But
Right?
they always do that. When they lose, they drop the trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Virgil Hunter probably told him he should hang it up already.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, that's always going to be a mystery. And now he's fighting some Indian guy. And
guy.
For some pearl
it's,
belt.
It's the pearl belt is not sanctioned.
Oh,
So when Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia fought, there was a
WBC?
diamond belt,
Yeah.
and everyone was talking shit, and
I
I'm
was
like,
talking.
and
Yeah.
I was like, I asked Mauricio and I asked Nancy, I'm like,
Yo.
okay, first of all, y'all keep putting out belts, and they're
Yeah.
like, no, this is a trophy. I go, what does that mean? They're like, it's a trophy belt, meaning
Looks like a belt.
that's the thing. And that's what it is. But there's no sanctioning fees. So when people say, "Oh my
Okay.
God, WBC's at it again," they're just throwing out belts just
Yeah.
because
Yeah, belt season.
there's no sanctioning fee. So there's no money added to that. They're not taking any money. It's a trophy. So like Mayweather McGregor, that glitter. I mean, that really beautiful belt.
It was pretty
The
Mayan
Canelo,
belt?
the Mayan
Aztec,
belt,
whatever
the
they called
Cui,
it.
I don't even know how to say it. Those are all trophy belts.
trophy.
They're trophies. So the pearl belt is a trophy, and it's also a sign of peace because India and Pakistan don't
Yeah.
get along.
Yeah.
So pearl, I guess, for peace, and they wanted something. And I even said, I'm like, why not a trophy?
Yeah, just
as
a
opposed
trophy.
to a belt,
Yeah.
because
Gold medal.
everyone thinks it. Like
Yeah.
casual fans,
Yeah.
they're just like, oh, a belt.
It
So
must be for a title.
Amir Khan's back. Yeah,
I know.
You got a belt.
Because that's what
Yeah.
the WBSS has, right? The Ali Trophy.
Yeah, the
It's a
Ali Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Someone's doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you get into boxing?
Oh man, couple years. Oh, not even a couple years. Years ago, I used to. My ex boyfriend loved boxing, so I was like, oh, "What's this?" I'll watch it. He would have 40 like a box of like maybe over 40 VHS tapes, and we would just watch them over and over. And I was like, "Oh, this is so fucking cool." I'm like, oh, I really like people beating each other up. And then he would train at a place called Bomb Squad in Santa Monica. It's not there anymore, but it's funny.
Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad. And the guy that used to own it, he is he's in I don't know what he does now, but that's where I met Georges St. Pierre.
Okay.
A lot before they were big.
Yeah.
I met them all, and I'm just like, wow, like you guys are barefoot on this mat. And my trainer, Paulie, he used to train at he used to train at Wildcard. He was at Bomb Squad. I started training with him. 15 years later, I was still training with him when he moved to Wildcard, and then now he just moved to Texas. But it was weird because I've seen the progression, and I've always just loved it. And I used to own two boxing gyms in Downey, and off the 5, Oscar Valdez and Abner Mares fought out of those. And then we ended up shutting down because the city bought us out because they need to expand the 5 freeway. I'm like, you go ahead, we'll sell. I'm like, we don't mind taking some money. And then after that, I moved to New York. But I've always stayed in boxing, and that's pretty much it. I just kind of put my love of talking to people, interviewing when I worked for Channel 5 and boxing. It just kind of fell in my lap.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge of covering boxing? In particular, interviewing fighters. Do you have any sets of challenges that you deal with?
To like interviewing the tall people, you're like,
I'm
Tyson
usually
Fury.
I'm usually in heels, but they're still taller. I think the biggest challenge, especially for women, is that we don't know anything about boxing, and I do my homework. I can't. I mean, I can't speak for anyone else because I don't know their work ethic. I respect people's grinds, but I live, eat, sleep. I mean, I'm constantly reading it, and I'm watching it. But I think that's when they're just like, they don't realize. When I even said, I tell them off camera, I'm like, I'll watch your fight, and sometimes I'll talk about it with my trainer. And when I'm in the ring training with them, I'm like, so and so did this. What could they have done different? Like we'll work out. We'll do moves. And so, but I like to play it out in my head and said, well, why didn't you do this instead? But it's fun, you know. And I also, and I think also one of the other challenges is that I don't like to keep it like a boring like the typical interview.
Yeah.
I'm very unconventional interviewer, and that's how I get them to talk to me.
Yeah, I think I was going to ask you a relatable question to that, but I know Christina Poncher, Michelle
Joy Phelps.
and then you, and then we have another person named Lily Chicana Boxing.
Yeah.
Probably my preferred
I'll have a message from her, by the way.
women
So.
that I like to see how they cover the sport of boxing. But obviously, even outside doing this right here, we have our own challenges when we have a different job. We try to compare to ourselves how we do the job, our type of work ethic, how we compare and stack up to them. Like for you, how do you try to separate yourself from those women as far as how you do the job? Obviously, you just mentioned it right now, as far as looking at the training, talking to your coach, and different types of angles. Like, what do you see? You study it. Is there anything you want to elaborate on that as far as how you do your job compared to the other women?
Well, for other, 'cause like I said, I don't know what the other women do based on what I see for it's at a media interview, like they do their interview. But for me, I really sit there and I actually kind of study a fighter. I'm kind of like breaking down what they do and what, even in the ring, just when they shadow box and even their past fights. And I'll talk to my trainer and I'll talk to, like if I'm at Wildcard, I'll talk to Freddie Roach about it. And I'm like, what are your thoughts? What do you think of this and that? And I'll tell them in my interview. And then, but I just kind of like to ask, I don't want to ask the typical questions. And the way I talk to them is if I'm having a conversation.
Like
I don't sit and ask A, point B. Like, you know, and for me, and a lot of people don't like it. They're just like, I don't like that interview, that conversational. I'm like, well, how else am I going to get someone to open up to me? I go, I need them to know that I'm genuine. I genuinely love what I do, and I genuinely love the sport. And I want to hear, like, the questions I ask are the questions I want to know. Like, it's not for the media. It's not for public, because the public, it's the same thing. They want to know the same thing I want to know. Like, why did you do that? Why didn't you just go for the kill? You had him, you dropped him. So why didn't you knock him out? Like Alberto Machado, I asked him yesterday, the one for Cancio, his rematch. I go, you dropped him in the first. What happened? Miguel Cotto told me that you gave him too many chances. Why didn't you just go for the kill? And he's like, I go, you had the chance, and he was able to answer. But those are the questions. You guys probably thought the same thing. Like, he had him in the first round. Why didn't you step on the gas? So it's just things I like to see. And
I wouldn't be surprised, but has there been a moment where you told a boxer, maybe, have you thought about doing this, like some type of?
Yeah. I have. Like during Hollywood Fight Nights, I think it was Adrian Corona, and I'm like, oh my God. And it naturally came out. He said something.
What did you say?
And so Kevin Kelly, Flushing Flash, and Doug Fisher, we were calling the fights. And so I'm sitting there getting ready to ask my questions because I'm watching the fights. And I said, Flushing Flash, you know, they always have that thing, make him miss, make him pay. That's the motto for every boxer. And I remember, I'm like, man, Corona's not doing certain things. He's fighting a southpaw. He needs to do this with his foot. And so I asked him straight out. And he said something. He's like, I was having a little bit of time. I go, why didn't you throw an uppercut? You weren't throwing any uppercuts. And he looked at me. I'm like, I'm just asking. And everyone's like, oh. I'm like, sorry, Papa Corona. But it's just, you know, it's things that I see. I mean, I'm not a boxer, but I know people, you know, when you shout at your TV, you're like, why didn't you do this? It's kind of like that.
But also because you laced the clothes before already and you try to bring that.
Yeah, I know what it's like to get hit. It's not fun. It is not fun.
There you go.
You know, that's why, I mean, I don't mind getting in the ring. I don't mind sparring sometimes, but you know, that's why I'm not a boxer. I'm on the other side.
And that's why you don't talk shit.
Yeah, and I don't. And I'm like, everyone has their own path and they have their own story, you know, and it's just what it is. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, message from Lily. Tell her I love her.
Oh, hi, Lily. I love you, too.
Oh, there's a second part.
Oh,
Ask Cynthia why she's so damn cute and talented.
You're too sweet. I just love what I do. You know that.
Shout out to Lily from Chicana Boxing.
I love her. She's so sweet. I love her. I remember when I first met her, she asked me, how do you get the boxers to talk to you? And I go, I'm myself. That's all I am. I talk to them and I go, the boxers will see who you are. Like, they'll know if you're fake.
Yeah.
They know that if you don't know what you're talking about, they're gonna know. And, you know, boxers are not stupid. And if you don't know their fights, if you don't watch any fights, they're going to see through you. That's why I'm like, and she knows her boxing. Yeah. I've told her that she knows her boxing. Yeah. And the other thing is that she speaks Spanish. I go, that's one thing I don't know how to do. I've taken so many, I don't know how many, like 4 years of Spanish.
Say something to our Mexican fans.
Orale. That is my word, though.
That's pretty good. That's all you need.
So yeah, but that's it. You know, I mean, I think it's there needs to be more females in sports, and Christina Poncher has led the way. I mean, I'm so proud of her for what she's done. That she is ESPN, like, you know, she's broadcasting. She did her after the Povetkin fight.
At the hanger.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, incredible, and just like, to be able to scream that out and just be like, and he got dropped, you know, it's like, in that feeling, it's like, wow. And it's incredible. Yeah. It's an incredible feeling. And just like, women are not just off to the side. Like, they're seen and heard at the same time. And I it's just like for women boxing, we're here to stay, fuckers. Okay. We ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. So to piggyback off of that, Cynthia, what is like your dream job, or I know you're already doing what you love, but what's your dream position, or what's your aspiration like in the next 5 years?
My next 5 years. Well, I have a channel that because I am phasing out of ring. I love ring, but it's, you know, I'm growing. I'm spreading my wings and flying. I have The Real Fight Girl. Yeah. And so eventually I'd like to build that up into like The Real Fight Girl TV and just cover boxing and then cover other sports. And essentially, I mean, I would love to be an ESPN, but it's a lot of work. And but I love it. I love what I do. And I would love to get more females involved in the sport to cover, because there's a lot of females that are too scared to approach it. I think especially in boxing, because we're very small. Our media, especially the new media that we have, the new YouTube, Periscope, it's like, it's not about broadcasters anymore. And I think they're afraid to just jump in because either they're too scared or they don't know. And it's not easy. I jumped in and I don't know, I had no clue what I was doing. I knew boxing, but I didn't know how to approach someone with an interview and talk to them, because they're like, who are you? And so, and luckily I had the ring mic, but I earned my respect just because I had a name. Some people they fucking hate ring. They hate ring. They hate what we stand for. They hate our rankings. They hate everything. I'm like, okay, but
are those the organizations?
The fans, man, I love you, fans. I love the trolls too, but I proved to myself and I proved to people I belong here. Yeah.
For the most part, I think the ring, for me, they're my, and I'm just saying that because you're here, I really do like their rankings for the most part.
What do you think about Tyson being number one in the rankings? I'm curious because a lot of people have asked me, and I'm curious what you guys think about this.
Gio, you want to talk about your rankings, and then and then I do.
Go for it.
I agree with Tyson Fury number one.
Okay.
I had him as a close second before the Joshua loss. So automatically he's number one to me.
Who was one to you at the time? Joshua?
Joshua, Fury, Wilder.
Okay.
Yeah.
But right. Where do you put Ruiz in there?
4.
4?
I still put him 4.
Yeah, I think so.
You got one notable win.
Behind Joshua?
It was a ginormous win.
He's still behind Joshua.
Okay.
And Chris?
I think they dropped Joshua to number 4, I believe.
Look at this.
Let's see. Let's pull him up.
Ring? Or
I don't remember.
He's 4.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so I just don't like that. For one notable win, you skip the line and go all the way to the front,
very top,
right? Because he didn't beat no Dillian White, he didn't beat no Klitschko, he didn't beat no Joseph Parker. He lost to Joseph Parker, right? So
I mean,
that's my
competitive
opinion.
fight.
It was a close fight.
On paper, I'm saying on paper.
On paper, okay, I get it. On paper.
And Chris?
Yeah, I actually do agree, and I know you guys gave me some slack because I had Joshua. We ranked the top three, right? The three-headed heavyweights, and I had Joshua number 3. Why?
I feel like he's taking credit.
No. I had him. I had him number 3 just because he didn't fight any of Tyson Fury or Wilder, and I did tell you guys I think he is the man.
Yeah, we still had him.
He's the man, the
just-
lineal
yeah,
man.
yeah.
The lineal champion.
Yeah,
The
so-
landlord.
No, so Joshua, I had him 3rd for a minute just because he hadn't fought those 2 guys.
Yeah.
And these 2 guys fought each other, so I was like, I'm just gonna put him up because they're fighting each other. The best are fighting the best.
Yeah.
So they kind of,
I get it.
They skipped Joshua. I was like, the moment that they fight, those 3, I think Joshua was gonna come on top, but he took this loss. I do agree with the ratings, the way Fury is number 1, because in that Fury Wilder fight, I do believe that Fury won. If we
Yeah.
go based on
Oh, he won.
yeah.
Yeah.
Based
won.
on even with the 2 knockdowns, let's say you give 1 round to Wilder, that's still mathematically.
We know what we see.
Yeah.
So I do agree with the 1, 2, and 3, and you beat Joshua, you're gonna take a spot. You haven't fought those 2 guys up there, so you'll get that 3rd spot, even though you have most of the belts
Hmm.
in the heavyweight division. So
I'm sorry, belts matter too.
Yeah.
They really do.
yeah,
They really.
So-
What about your rankings?
I had Wilder 3, right? In the beginning.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wilder and then Fury and then Joshua. So
Joshua.
I was same thing with Gio, but
Mhm.
now with Andy, I have Fury number 1.
Hmm.
I have
Mhm.
Wilder number 2, and I have Joshua number 3.
And Andy
okay.
Ruiz 4.
Because I wouldn't mind, given the fact that not only did he beat Joshua, but he beat me and he beat everybody around the world
Mhm.
with the entitled their opinion. But just one fight doesn't make you everything, but the rematch will though.
Yeah.
If he wins the rematch,
I was gonna ask
he's still
what.
my number 2.
But what happens to Joshua? What do you think? Do you think he's done? If he I always said, it depends on how you lose.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so, the first one, if Ruiz, well, okay, obviously Ruiz won, but back then, if Ruiz won,
Right.
how would have Joshua lost? He lost bad.
You lost bad. Yeah.
So in the second one, if he were to lose, let's just say it's in UK,
Yeah.
and Joshua loses, and it was a close fight, do you think his career is over?
Let me tell you,
Or vice versa?
I'll answer that. Not only will he lose, right, but he would lose Sky Sports, he would lose The Zone, he would lose Under Armour, he would lose a lot of sponsorships. Because when I think about boxing, I think about Canelo and Joshua. But that's what, if he thinks he had pressure in this Madison Square Garden fight on June 1st, he's going to have more pressure because all these
if it's
entities
in the UK,
have
yeah.
so much money possessed to Anthony Joshua. So if he doesn't win this fight, so much money is going to be given away to somebody else. And Eddie Hearn, that's his man. That's his man.
I don't
I
think he's
strongly disagree.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think people are still gonna pay to
Yeah.
go watch it. Maybe it's not gonna be 100,000, but it's still gonna be 50,000.
Yeah.
That's still what 45,000 more people than Wilder's fight. So I'm just saying.
He is a hero.
Yeah.
I think
In
some people just
um,
have that it factor. I think
yeah.
he has it.
And I think he does. He's such a nice guy, and I mean, even the commercials that he puts out, it's like a Gatorade, but it's called Florazine or something. He's marketable regardless if allegedly his boxing career is
Yeah.
done. I mean, his GQ modeling and whatever
Yeah.
else that he does. He does a lot of things that
Yeah.
people don't know about, like his charities. So he'll always be around.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned marketable because I've been working on an article about the loss of your first defeat, and I think this past whole year for boxing, you've seen, and it started in December with Charlo
It's the
losing.
year of the underdogs.
Yeah.
Charlo lost. Who else lost? Machado lost.
Mikey Garcia
Joshua lost. Garcia lost. So it's about us understanding how boxer comes out of their first defeat. So I think Joshua highlighted all that. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting how that's relatable,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's relatable. It is.
just in general, because we always take losses. in
Everyone
life.
takes a
Yeah.
loss. If
You
you
know?
don't, and that's
Canelo lost, Lomachenko lost,
you have
Pacquiao
to,
lost.
yeah, and it's how you come back, and that's why they always say, even all the well-known fighters, even George Foreman, Bernard Hopkins, when they came out, Lennox Lewis, they're like, don't worry, to Joshua, it was like,
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world. It's it's just one loss. It's on your record. It's how you come back, and
I mean, Wilder
It's
wasn't
true.
holding back.
well, that's Wilder.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't get
Fury.
Wilder than Wilder.
Wilder just
He
keeps
was wilding.
He's wild.
Wilder's Wilder. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, I agree with Gio. If he loses a tough, gritty fight, he's still gonna be loved by the masses over there
UK stick with the people, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They stick with the people.
yeah. So I
But
feel like
Don't
he's,
turn their back on them.
he definitely has to, show his mental fortitude this time around. I'm not saying he didn't show it in the last fight, but
Right. Something happened.
something mental.
Yeah.
Something happened.
I mean, so eventually that needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I mean, maybe someone, I mean, besides Eddie Hearn saying it because he can't be the one to say it because he's a promoter, but it needs to be addressed. Like, these rumors are true about me getting knocked out in sparring. These rumors are true that I was tired or I wasn't physically there. I mean, just own up to it. It's, we're very forgiving. Boxing is very forgiving.
Not to discredit Andy Ruiz, but
No, and that's what but you know what? And I love Andy Ruiz. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he had to win, and he said it best. I did not want to leave it up to the judges.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad he didn't, because it would have been awful if he did, because then we know what would have happened based on the scorecards that they showed us.
and he had to get up too. It's not like he just ran
Yeah.
over a guy who was hurt before the fight or something like that. He still got knocked down and got
He
up.
got knocked
so
down, and he persevered, and he showed what
Snickers can do.
Right? But he showed us, like,
Still haven't bought a
and
Snickers.
I even said that, I go, he made people believe in themselves. He made people believe that they can be something.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like that Mexican Rocky moment. Like, when
Yeah.
he was jumping up and down, I cried. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, Russell freaking from up did it.
Right.
Like, I cannot believe it. I was so happy. And it just,
And no
and even-
disrespect, but I said this, and people are gonna probably give me shit about this later on in the future. But I said this before the fight. Remember what I said? But I'm not trying to disrespect overweight people, but I'm just saying, like, can you imagine how many overweight people are gonna start boxing after if he pulls off this fight? Like, so many people are gonna be quitting their jobs the next day, and
I mean, to each their own.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen Ruiz work? Have you seen him do his HIIT cardio? You know, that the little ladder. Have you seen him work that?
No.
People, it's hard. I
Yeah.
mean, you
What
don't
does he do?
realize how quick. You know that the ladder on the floor, the little looks like a little ladder. You go in and out. A lot of football players do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's quick on your feet.
oh, like on the sideways.
Yeah, on
Go
the
straight?
floor.
Okay.
You see how
He goes
fast. You should Google it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would think. That's why I was like, oh, I've seen Andy. I've seen him at Legends. And I'm like, oh, my God. People are going to be in for it. And when they actually see it, they're like, oh, my goodness. I can't believe he's got quick feet. So, I mean, anyone can do it. I mean, what's his name? Jose Benavidez.
Yeah.
He was just there to just lose weight. And now look at him.
Yeah.
So why not? I think boxing, I mean, it's one of the best ways to lose weight anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That's-
reminds me of the because I don't go on Instagram too much, but I saw Anthony Joshua posted something recently, so I just went back on his Instagram, and he had pictures of like the face-to-face, the weigh-ins or whatever, and a lot of people in the comments are like, "This fat boy, really? This is the fat
Yeah.
fuck that you're gonna fight?
Yeah.
This is a joke for MSG." Blah. A lot of people from the UK were saying that.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is a joke. We're not even gonna tune in.
they
One
were
round,
they were
30
screaming
seconds.
it during the weigh-ins, like they were fat shaming him.
Damn.
And I was like, man. But I go, he proved every
Yeah.
fucking person
He did
wrong,
a-
and I love that.
Yeah.
He did
I
a
was like,
Kawhi Leonard
the
before Kawhi Leonard.
bullying, everything. It just, everything about that was just, that's one of the best fights in history, in heavyweight, in boxing history.
Yeah. To me, that post-fight interview where he sent that message to his mom.
Mom, oh.
Yeah. That's like that's the "We're not struggle no more." I feel like any son that loves his family, loves his mom, wants to say that to their mom one day.
Yeah.
And so I feel like he inspired a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not just like.
And not in boxing,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
any field, in anything that you can do this, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you have what? So where do you Dylan White? I mean, he
Yeah,
needs.
Dylan is number
He's
4.
gonna be fight Rivas. He's in UK. That's a good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Big Baby Miller. I did see him. Did you guys see my interview for that?
Not. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
I didn't click on it.
It was.
Should I click on it?
You should actually.
All right, I'll click on
I put that on my channel as an exclusive, and it's funny because you could tell. I'm like, first of all, why is he here?
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He's ranked
I
like 500 to 1 to me right now.
I think he might be signing on with Top Rank for maybe say
Fury. That's
maybe like a
crazy.
2-fight deal of 3. Yeah, maybe for Fury. I'm not sure. But and to Aram, it's all about dollars, baby.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's what trying to get
That's
at.
crazy.
You think Bob Arum, that's his favorite fighter now, right? Over Lomachenko and Crawford?
Tyson Fury, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think so right now because I remember when I interviewed Bob Arum when they first signed him, I was like, Arum, what did you do? Like the Wilder Fury fight, and he's like, Cynthia. He schooled me, and I even put it in the interview for Ring TV. I'm like, Bob Arum schools me and the media. You guys and y'all don't really know fucking boxing. You don't know what it takes and blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, you need the Ollie's and the Foremans and no one fucking knows this guy. And I'm like, that's true. So it's like, why put another Wilder Fury if no one fucking knows Fury and barely Wilder? It's like that kind of a caliber of a fight. When he said it, maybe MSG at least does 4 million buys more than Mayweather Pacquiao. Like that's a big thing to say.
Yeah.
And
It's
I think it can
more,
happen.
for sure.
It will definitely sell more. And if Fury continues to fight and actually knock people out as opposed to just winning by scorecards, that's going to pique a lot of interest. And
He's
so
a spectacle before
It was
and
pretty
after the ring.
impressive. He was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
against the
nice.
ropes.
did you see that? It was like he did not get touched. I'm like, man, he's that good.
You could put
That's
that.
slippery, man.
You could put that footage in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good. But no, you should watch The Big Baby Miller. It's he broke his silence. Yeah, because no one's talked to him about.
Was he crying?
We'll put a link up.
I'll
here.
link it up in this video.
It was
too.
I gave him because I'm kind of like he didn't really want to talk. He was just kind of like I'm like do you want to talk? And he's like sure. He spoke with Fight Hub first, and then he did this thing. I don't know what obviously they talked about it. I don't know to what extent. And I'm sitting there. I have a Kit Kat bar. He's like, oh, and so he's eating during my thing. I'm like, so you're supposed to fight, and he talks about his. So allegedly, not allegedly, he was busted for 4. So one of them he failed twice. So that was technically 4, but I consider it 3 because it was 3 tests, but he just happened to fail 1 twice. So when I said that, he's like, I said not 1, not 2, but 3. He's like, no, 2. I'm like,
Wow.
2. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's like, see, you guys, the media, you guys, blah, blah, blah. It's premature, that. And I'm thinking, we're kind of going based off what VADA releases.
Yeah.
So we don't just make stuff up. We don't make up the stuff that you allegedly took. And you even said you took this. It's quite interesting. I'm not going to say the way he spun the story. It's just his excuses of why he took them. Victor Conte, Snack. I always call him my uncle. He's
Right.
Uncle Victor, I love you, from Snack. So I even ask him anytime someone's getting popped, immediately I'm like, what does this do? What is this? I don't know. I mean, is it? And then even when you Google it yourself, it says it's to help you last longer in not necessarily in the ring, but to last longer, so you heal faster. I mean, these are things that it's an athlete's dream.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to take it. So, but it's just interesting how Jarrell says things, and I didn't really say anything. I didn't agree or disagree. I just wanted him to speak because I didn't want to get into a fight because I didn't know too much of everything he took.
Right.
And the way he was explaining how he took it in the elbow, and I don't even know. And then HGH, and I go, look, for me, I always said, I don't have any problems with steroids. I don't give a shit what you do, but if you're going to take it for sports and to fight somebody in a combat sport,
Right.
I have an issue with that. You can go do it for bodybuilding or for your vanity.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't care. I don't shoot all as much you want, but you're putting someone else's life at risk.
Yeah.
It's not that's not right. And that's why I said, have you spoken to Eddie Hearn? He's like, no. He's like, actually, we haven't had a conversation still. Yeah, and then even Anthony, I go, have you spoken to Anthony Joshua? Or have you even apologized? He's like, why the fuck am I going to apologize to him? I was like,
Yeah.
Bro,
because I go,
that's-
that was the biggest fight of your life
Yeah.
that could have changed your family's life. And also, if let's just say you went in the ring, something happened. That's like, you don't want, it's something could have happened. And he's like, no. I'm like, all right. And so I was just like, okay, but you should watch it because I'm like, so you've never shot anything up your ass, like no HGH and nothing. He's like, no, first you only HGH, you shoot in your stomach and you're this. I'm like,
Oh, he sounds like a pro.
but it's weird because I don't, I just take that interview for him to just let him speak.
Yeah.
And people will just go based on if he's lying or if he's not, if he's.
You just roll with it.
And there's Jonathan Lear. I did his podcast. He's what is this called? He's a powerlifting coach, a former powerlifting coach, and he's in boxing. And he did this whole 11-page tweet breaking down everything. He's like, it was great. Cynthia was a pro. Just let him speak. But he broke down EPO, blah, 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 blah. I was like, you should read it. It's quite interesting. I'm like, okay. And, it's just, if he just said, you know what, I fucked up. I did it. It was illegal. I'm sorry. I'm not saying, I mean, to heal or get an edge, just admit you did it. Cool.
Yeah.
Look at Luis Ortiz. We moved on. You forgive. Make sure you're clean from now on, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But it was good. You guys should watch it. Actually, it's a really good one.
Will do.
Will do.
All right, we're gonna get kicked out of here pretty soon. So, any last stuff you guys want to discuss?
I just want to share this 15-second laugh.
Thank you. And like they said, enjoy this moment, and have fun with it.
That's a good one.
They were actually there last weekend in Vegas. The
Were
Raptors.
they?
Yeah, celebrating.
Oh yeah, their party was at Excess. Were you at that party?
Oh, so that's where you were.
No, I wasn't. No.
I didn't know until I came back. Because it was packed. It was like Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
The fight was going on. The Raptors were there. It was like a lot of shit going on.
There was a lot of stuff, but it was no. I wouldn't know. I my friends were at that at
really?
that pool. I'm like, why? They're like, what are you doing? Working. I'm editing. That's my life now. That's my life. Yeah.
Dedication.
Hard work and dedication.
Anything you want to plug? Where can they follow you on Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff?
On Instagram, you can follow me at therealfightgirl, and my new YouTube channel is The Real Fight Girl. It's all one word. And then you can also see my interviews at Ring TV or Ring Digital on YouTube. It's the same thing. It's owned by Ring Magazine, you guys. People think I own Ring. I wish. Shit, I wish. And then, they get mad at me about the rankings. Like, why did you do that? I'm like, I didn't.
I don't do the rankings.
Let me tell you why.
I'm like,
Let me tell you
that's
why you're
above my
wrong.
pay grade. And on Twitter at Cynthia_Conte, Conte.
And what type of content do you put on your YouTube?
All
Just
boxing.
interviews?
All boxing. And then on my, there's going to be some special content that I'll be doing. It's in the works. I don't want to say because,
Special
Stay
content.
tuned.
it's going to
There
be
you go.
fun. It's going to be fun and different. And I know I can probably get away with it because I'm a girl. Because I don't really see a lot of guys that can do it. But it's, it's a progress. It's
a
hard.
good
It's a hard,
teaser.
it's like a podcast. It's a lot of work. So, but got a good team behind you guys. This is fun. I'm
yeah,
so
this is
glad.
fun.
Thank you.
You'll be back, right?
Yeah.
I'll be back.
We look
totally.
forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on. You're like one of the best out there doing it.
Yep.
Oh,
any
thank you.
last messages for any lady reporters that want to get into the business?
Just do it. Honestly, if you don't think about it, believe in yourself, trust in the process. It is not going to be easy. You're going to always hear shit that you don't know anything, you can't do this. Fuck them. Just do it because you're the only one that's stopping yourself.
Just like Andy.
Hey, there you
Hey,
go.
there you
There you
go.
go.
All right,
All right,
don't
guys.
forget to follow us at Against DA Ropes on everything. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week.
Hey.
Hey. Oh, that was fun.
That was fun.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. And you know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night. Oh, I don't want to put on my...
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Gallo Estrada. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas, un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview, and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.